Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my channel Simplified Organic. Nomenclature of alkanes part in that alkyl group as prefix. So let's begin with today's topic, also called as alicyclic hydrocarbons, alicyclic hydrocarbon groups. Alicyclic hydrocarbon groups are of different types, but today I'm going to discuss about that is alkyl groups. That is alkyl groups. What exactly is alkyl means? If any alkane becomes as a substituent in a compound, if any alkane act as a substituent in any compound, you call them as alkyl group. You call them as alkyl group. If this alkane becomes as a substituent, you will replace this ane with yl. So that's why it's called as alkyl. So if alkane part becomes as a branch or substituent, it's called as alkyl. So what are the different types of alkyl groups we have? I'll begin with the very smallest one, that is one carbon, CH3. If CH3 is present, because there is only one carbon, it's called as meth as a root word. And as it is a substituent, it is act as a methyl. So you call it as methyl. For example, this is the parent chain. So at the second position, you have a methyl group. You call this as methyl because it's made up of one carbon. Now, if I go on increasing the number of carbons, if I take two carbons, it is called as ethyl. If you increase one more carbon, that is, this is called as propyl, called as propyl branch. And if I increase one more carbon, likewise it goes on. If there are four carbons, it is called as butyl. And these groups are generally normal one. These are the normal branches. These all are normal one. Normal alkyl groups. So therefore, we'll just add N to this. It's like N-propyl, or it is like N-butyl. You can also call it as N-butyl. N means normal without any branch. But in case of three carbons, I can write one more branch. See, if I give you three carbons, and if I ask you write the branches of this, I can write two branches. One, the branch can be from here, or the other one, the branch can be from here. There are two possibilities for three carbon member to act as two branches. And just now, as I told you, because this is a normal one, it's called as N-propyl. And because in this case, it is bonded to secondary carbon. The branch is from the secondary carbon. It is called as secondary propyl. Because the branch is from the secondary carbon, it is called as secondary propyl. One more important thing to note here is I can write this structure in this way. These two are same. Both are same. Okay. So now if I take the branch from the branch side, if I see from the branch side, okay, this is the last carbon. This is the last carbon, and this is the last second carbon. Okay, this is the last second. If last second carbon have a methyl group, once again I'm repeating, if last but second carbon have methyl group, then the group is called as, then the total group is called as iso. Very important. So I can also call this branch as iso, and total number of carbons are 3, so called as isopropyl. So with 3 carbon, I can get 2 branches. One is N-propyl and the other one is secondary propyl, or also called as isopropyl. What do you mean by iso? Last but second carbon, if it is having the methyl group, it is called as iso. For example, if I go for 4 carbons, imagine there are 4 carbons, and 4 carbons I can write in this way, or I can also represent the 4 carbon in this way. I can represent 4 carbons in 2 ways, either in the linear form or with the branch form. Now, if I ask you to write the alkyl groups with this, see, either you can make a branch from this side, or you can make a branch from this side. Now, what can be the name? As I told you previously, that is, this is N-butyl, the normal one, N-butyl. And here it is bonded to secondary carbon, so called as secondary butyl. While giving this name, we need to count all the carbons. Secondary butyl. Okay. Now, from this part, I can also get 2 more branches. One, I can make it branch from this side. Now look at this branch properly. If you look at this from this direction, last carbon but second carbon is having a methyl group. Last but second carbon is having a methyl group, so it is called as iso. And total how many carbons are there? Total 4 carbons are there, so called as isobutyl. Now I hope you all got the clear idea what is iso. See, I can also write this branch in this way. I can also write it in this way. For example, if I make it from this branch, from this carbon. So now travel from the branch. When you travel from the branch, this is the last carbon. Either you travel to left side or right side, your wish. This is the last carbon. Last but second carbon is having a methyl. This is the second carbon which is having a methyl. So therefore, it is called as iso, and total 4 carbons are there, so called as isobutyl. I hope this is clear. So you need to travel from the branch. Travel to the last carbon. If the last but second carbon have methyl, it is called as iso. Now look at this example. Now I'll travel from here. And if I move in this direction, this is the last carbon. And last but second carbon is not having a methyl, so this is not iso. So secondary butyl is not isobutyl. I hope this is clear to everyone. Secondary butyl is not isobutyl. Now let us make another branch of this. What is that? For example, if I make a branch from this direction, now please check this properly. As it is bonded to tertiary carbon, as the branch is from the tertiary carbon, it's called as terbutyl or tertiary butyl, called as tertiary butyl. Now, if I ask you to travel from which direction you will travel from this direction. So when you travel in this direction, this is the last carbon you have. This is the last carbon. Last but second carbon is having two methyl groups. I'll do one thing. I'll write it separately. If I write the branch in this way, I hope you understood this. These two are same. So if I travel from this direction, from the branch, if I travel from the branch direction, if I see it from here, this is the last carbon I have. Last carbon. Last but second carbon, if it is have two methyl groups, it is called as neo. I'm writing it here. Last but second carbon, last but second carbon, if it have two methyl groups, it is called as neo. Means see, if I travel from here, now I'll do it here. Now if I travel from this direction, this is the last carbon. Last but second carbon have two methyl groups. So tertiary butyl is also called as neobutyl. Tertiary butyl is also called as neobutyl. I hope this is clear, everyone. So with four carbons, I can get four branches: N-butyl, secondary butyl, isobutyl, or tertiary butyl or neobutyl. So total four branches with four carbon one. Like for example, I'll go for further. If I give you five carbons, you can write five carbons in this way. If I give you five carbons, you can write a five carbon skeletal structure like this. Or you can write a five carbon in this way. Or you can also write five carbon in this way. So total in three ways you can represent the five carbons. Total in three ways you can represent the five carbons. Now please check this. If I ask you how many branches are possible, many are possible, but whatever is there in the syllabus that I'm going to cover. So one branch is this. Five carbons with the branch here. Five carbons with the branch here. So as you know, it's a normal one. So called as N-pentyl. And one branch I can make it from the second carbon. So one branch from the second. So as this is normal one, so called as N-pentyl. And as this is from the secondary carbon, this is called as secondary pentyl. Called as secondary pentyl. And from the second one, whatever is required for the syllabus, I am teaching you that. For example, if I make a branch from this carbon, now look at this. I hope you recollect the name easily now. When you travel from here, this is the last carbon, last but second carbon have a methyl group, so called as iso. And total five carbons are there, so called as isopentyl. Now, if I make a branch from this carbon, okay, as this carbon, the branch is from the tertiary carbon, so therefore this is called as tertiary pentyl. tertiary pentyl, because total 5 carbons are there and the branch is from the tertiary carbon, it is called as tertiary pentyl. Okay. Now, the last branch, from this we can make only one kind of a branch, only one kind of branch, that is from this carbon, any of the carbon you can make it a branch. So when you make it a branch, now look at this from the direction of the branching. So when you look at this from this direction, this is the last carbon we have. Last but second carbon have 2 methyl groups. So therefore it is called as neopentyl. Total 5 carbons are there, so called as pentyl, and it is a neo branch, so called as neopentyl. So this is how you name different alkyl groups. So before leaving, we'll go for a small summary, and please do subscribe my channel and like my videos and do comment. So let us summarize it. Let us summarize. See, simple one. We'll do it from 3 carbons. See, this is the 3 carbon one. So called as isopropyl. It's called as isopropyl. And if I make this with 4 carbons, a branch, it's called as isobutyl. And if I make it with 5 carbons, it is called as isopentyl. In all these iso branch, you will definitely find this part. See, this part is compulsory. Last but second carbon will have a methyl group. And I told you isopropyl is also called as secondary propyl because the bonding is from the secondary carbon. Now coming to the neo. For example, neo, this is the smallest neo one. So called as neo, and total number of carbons are 4, so called as neobutyl. Why I'm calling it as neo? Because last but second carbon have 2 methyl groups. Now if I write with 5 carbons, this is the branch, this is called as neopentyl. And if I write with 6 carbons, 5, 6, and a branch from here, it is called as neohexyl. So in case of neo, you will find this branch as a common part. See, this part is common in all the 3 structures. This neo means this part is compulsory. Last but second carbon have 2 methyl groups. So this is the summary or the short trick. I can also call it as short trick to remember these common names. So that's all for today with this video. So do subscribe my channel for more and more videos on nomenclature. After completion of nomenclature, I'll start with another chapter. Thank you very much. Bye bye.